Man, they neutered so many of these goddamn cartoons. Straight neutered. Took the balls clean off them. So you want to hear something scary? I'm on YouTube, right? And I want to do a reaction to the 2020 Animaniacs. I want to see if they had that on YouTube. I'm putting in the search the letters A-N-I. That's it. And I just wanted to see. I want to see if it would guess Animaniacs. Bro, Animaniacs is the first guess off of A-N-I. My nigga, the word animals is 5 suggestions down, and below that is animation, and below that is anime. Animaniacs from ANI, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. And I probably said that shit out loud at some point while I was thinking. These fucking machines, bro. These fucking machines, they're listening. They hear you. They hear you, bro. They hear what you talking about. They hear what you saying. They hear you when you on the toilet. They hear you when you in your bedroom making sweet, sweet love. Motherfucking technology, bro. What's that shit in Terminator? Sky Zone? Skyline? What the fuck is that shit called? Skynet. We are in the age of Skynet. This is how it started off. This is the part of Terminator that they don't show you, was this. The internet has become sentient. We're truly living in the devil's times, guys. And while we're there, let's check out some Animaniacs. You know what was a good show that I feel like don't get enough props? That Looney Tunes reboot, where they was like young adults and shit and going through adult life, having to get jobs and paying rent and shit.
What's up, Doc?
Hello there, neighbor. I'm sorry to bother you, but would you mind signing this here petition?
What's it for?
Oh, you know, stuff.
Sam, I don't just sign something without knowing what it is.
Hey, will you sign this?
Sure.
Come on, what about you?
What is it for?
Trying to get the courts to give me my guns back.
Instead of watching Animaniacs, we are going to watch somebody's review of the 2020 Animaniacs. Let's see how good this review is. It's called
Copyright Claimy. I totally get why people can feel on edge about this kind of thing. I mean, I've seen reboots of things I love that turned out pretty bad, reboots of things I never watched that turned out really bad, reboots of things I never watched that turned out great, and
Hey, the DuckTales remake? Fire!
The Bible by which all reboots should be judged.
We used to have to sing that shit in camp. Our God is an awesome God.
Animaniacs was a show back in the 90s that aired on Fox Kids and later on Kids WB. It starred the Warner siblings, Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, as they run around Warner Brothers Studios causing chaos, show up in other time periods to bug famous historical and literary figures, and even educate the masses with earwormy songs on occasion. All the while, a cast of other colorful characters, including a retired cartoon squirrel, mafia pigeons, all get to go on their own adventures with varying styles of comedy and presentation. Remember, the well-timed slapstick, the varied humor, the clever...
Yo, I have not been paying attention a lick to this reaction video.
But what happens when you decide to literally dig the Warners up from their 20-year-old graves and bring them to modern day, full of all kinds of technology and trends that they've never witnessed before? Genevieve Tsai, who was currently working at Warner Brothers Studios at the time, and was also a huge fan of the original series. And looking at her art, they all agreed that she was a prime pick to reincarnate the Warners.
Work ethic, get some, nigga!
Also, she worked on the Green Eggs and Ham cartoon. Not relevant to anything, I just wanted to mention that because Green Eggs and Ham deserves way more love than it gets.
Green Eggs and Ham cartoon? What was the show about? Because the story was about a motherfucker trying to get another motherfucker to try drugs. Green eggs.
Do you like Green Eggs and Ham? Yes, I do. Sam, I am. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Drugs.
And what they came up with in the end looks pretty dang good. Almost exact, I would say. They've got a little bit of a case of the Megamind forehead going on, but really close to the originals. It's like too many curves and over-reliance on airbrush. The real question is, can you crazy kids still make me laugh? Short answer, yes. Long answer,
Yes.
We've got goofy versions of historical figures like Surfer Bro Odysseus.
Yo, you can see this nigga's pubic hair. Was that important for you to do? To show pubic hair? What's good with you niggas, bruh?
Just some good old-fashioned misdirection.
Aha! I've got it! This thing makes everything look bigger.
That was actually a pretty good joke.
It's time for another good idea, bad idea. Good idea, giving the Animaniacs a reboot. Bad idea, giving the other Animaniacs the boot.
Yeah, they got rid of all the other fucking cartoons from the show. Everybody. Do you know why? Because people are such whiny bitches. They get offended by every fucking thing.
Aside from the Warners and Pinky and the Binky, none of the other characters from the original are mainstays in this reboot. Slappy, Skippy, Rita, Runt, Buttons, Mindy, Mr. Skullhead.
I bet you I could bullshit a reason why all these cartoons are gone. I bet you. And when you hear my explanations for why they probably left these characters out, go look it up. See if I'm right on the money. This is why they're not in this show. Slappy Squirrel and Skippy Squirrel. The basic premise of every Slappy Squirrel joke was that she was old. Old lady, old cartoon. So I bet you they considered that elder abuse. Somebody got fucking offended by it. They said,
No, my grandparents were, they were old. So I'm offended.
let's see who's next. Rita and was it Runt? Rita and Runt probably consider like insulting the homeless or orphans. Every episode they were either being adopted or trying to find a home and shit, and kind of the whole punchline was always you don't have a home. So I'm pretty sure somebody got offended by that. Stop me if I'm wrong. By all means. Mindy and what's the dog's name? Rita and Runt, Mindy and Cunt. The whole premise of that joke was that the dog was always getting fucked up trying to save this little girl from herself. Animal abuse. Any writers here that have dogs at home? Any of you offended by this? Oh, hands? Okay. They're out of there, baby. Mr. Skullhead. If I had to take a guess of why they would have taken Mr. Skullhead, what was his deal? He had the good idea, bad idea, but he was always getting fucked up. Who knows what they're fucking offended about with that one? Fucking abuse of a corpse? Let's hear this cunt.
Had the Good Feathers, Katie Kaboom, Minerva Mink, the Hippos, the Mime.
So the Good Feathers. Yeah, we know why they got the boot. They were impersonating the Good Fellas. Italian Americans. Is you crazy, nigga? Italian American stereotypes, bruh. You can't stereotype nobody no more in 2020. These motherfuckers, bruh. Goddamn. Y'all remember Katie Kaboom? A teenager that fucking blew up about every fucking thing. She could not handle some shit not going her way, destroying her parents' home, leaving them homeless, just fucking shit up. You know why Katie Kaboom is probably not in this show? Mental illness. You can't make fun of mental health. Are you crazy, nigga? Who else we got? Mindy Mink. Was that her name? She was too sexy. You can't have sexy cartoons. You can't. Like her whole thing was just that she was fucking sexy. She had the curve, she had the hair, she had the look, she had that look. Yeah, you can't have that. However, what they will do is objectify a male character. They'll do that shit. They'll have a big swole out of proportion motherfucker with 12-pack abs wearing a Speedo and some tiny ass legs. They'll do that shit. No more hello nurse.
Stop it. Get some help.
Are you crazy? Objectifying women in this day and age? Catcalling minks? Mister, you've got some nerve. The hippos. Bro, with all this body positivity, all this fat acceptance, all this health at every size shit that's going on, you really think you're gonna get away with every joke being that they're fat? That was the whole thing. That they're fat. They break things when they sit on them. Tell me that's not their only joke that runs throughout the whole fucking series.
And Minerva? Pfft, forget it. Having that girl just walk around would make studio execs nervous.
Alright, so we agree on one thing. And apparently her name is Minerva.
So how's about adding more variety to the cast in future seasons? I think it would really help the show out. After all, variety is the spice of life.
Bitch, yo. I was about to say, your white ass don't know about spice.
Maybe some cayenne pepper instead.
Note to self. Edit that joke about white people out.
For those of you who don't know, Animaniacs 1993 is my favorite show of
So this is a new review, as you can probably tell by the voice. Actually, halfway through that last review, Buddy decided to transition. He's now a woman. Aren't we all? Definitely edit that shit out.
Don't let the surprisingly fluid animation fool you. There's so much ugliness lying deep inside this reboot. Even when I tried to hold on to the good parts.
Okay, here's a different opinion.
You ask? Well, for every one step forward, Animaniacs 2020 takes 3 steps back.
On some G shit. I do not have the attention span to watch this shit right now. I gotta go eat some.
Ever heard of the expression, time heals all wounds? Oh, hey, Grandma. You'll be all right. Time will heal that.
That was actually a pretty good joke.